Hello everybody. For a very long time I've been wanting to do a complete Highlander guide based off of the years of this character that I have played with and the years of knowledge that I have gained over time. I wish to express this knowledge upon you players to help understand how to play this character, speak this character, and understand this character. Highlander has always been one of those characters in this game ever since the release date that has broken the flow of the game and the mechanics wise. Simply, what I mean by that is he does not belong in front. There are certain things that Highlander can do that no other character can, and there's certain things that he can do that physically breaks certain matchups and certain gameplay. Now, when you watch this guide, I want you to understand a couple of things. One, Highlander is not a great character. He struggles severely at higher level play due to a lot of reasons. But Highlander, like most of the characters in the game in their current state, can be played into anyone that is in top level. Basically casuals, as I'm trying to say. Highlander is at the point, not really specifically because of Highlander's current game design, but more because there's other characters we're getting to the point now that are so much better than what Highlander does and what they can do, that Highlander is really struggling. And that's simply because he's left behind. Like Nuxia, Highlander is in probably a worse belt than Nuxia. Now, there is a lot of baggage when it comes to this character, specifically playing this character and trying to learn this character. There will be certain times somebody can absolutely dominate you, and there will be certain times you can absolutely dominate somebody. There will be certain times that you will lose because they have severe matchup, and you don't. There will be times where you are playing against somebody that you are better at mechanically, and you are playing Highlander, and there are sometimes certain times that you can't do anything because of the matchup. Once you understand that, you need to get into the mindset of what it requires to play this character and the amount of time and effort you need to put into learning this character. Highlander will open up a new mental for you. Highlander will give you a lot, but he will also take a lot in return. A lot of your time, he will branch out to a new mental state, and he will have you look at the game in different ways you would never think was possible before. Now, with that being said, I wish you guys the best of luck, and welcome to the guide. Okay, so first things first, we're going to go mostly over the basics. So we're going to have basic, intermediate, and more advanced stuff. I did try my best to cover over everything in this guide, but there will most likely be things I've forgotten about. So first off, we have light, and then we have light into heavy, and then we have light into heavy. Pretty simple, basic stuff. It's mostly really from neutral. There's not much you can do really before it comes to crushing counters and heavies. So on his chain heavies and his heavy chain, so heavy into heavy, it's pretty nice. You have a 600 MS chain heavy, which is virtually really good because the heavy hits on the first heavy. And on the second chain heavy, you can actually saw feint your second heavy, which is like into a different direction as shown as there. And then we have Celtic Curse. It's pretty simple. Celtic Curse is a dodge for the heavy mix-up that can be saw faded into a left heavy or a right side heavy. It's really good up close. It's virtually unreactable, especially if you delay it. Whenever you use Celtic Curse, I highly recommend you guys delay it. It makes it harder to react to. You can also enter offensive stance from the first dodge toward heavy or from the second dodge toward saw feint heavies. You pretty much have complete versatility with this move. It lets you be flexible. You can go into heavies. You can go into Celtic Curse. You can go into a offensive stance from this. It's pretty nice. It's pretty flexible. It lets you have a lot of options with it. You can chain heavies from Celtic Curse as well. You can also flicker your chain heavies into this as well. It's pretty nice. So now we have backstep lighting. Backstep lighting is something I came up with a while ago. It basically takes the normal backstep light and gives it more range. It's also harder to punish, unlike backstep light, as if backstep light wasn't already safer, but as you can see, you can be hit out of it, so be careful. But you can also chain into your chain light that's hyper armor to tree. You can avoid essentially almost anything with backstep light. There is counters for it as well. If somebody is really close to you as well, do keep in mind they can bash you out of it with certain heroes. They can also heavy you on read when you unlock, so do be careful with that. Backstep lighting is safe, but unlock backstep lighting takes it to a whole new level. It is very safe. You can pretty much do everything you can with normal backstep light, but better. Now we have crushing counters. Your crushing counters can pretty much cover a wide range of options when it comes to Fate into guard break. As you can see, if he releases it, I crushing counter. When you want to crushing counter something, you want to always walk backwards. It gives you more range and it makes backstep light harder to parry. And it also, because it can be, going into a CC, which makes it harder to do. Now we have kick into kick to grab. So kick guarantees 30 damage heavy, and kick to grab also guarantees a 30 damage heavy. So now we have offensive lights. It's pretty simple. Offensive lights are pretty much his most important tool and his most oppressive tool. Really, that's the only thing you need when it comes to this character, because your offensive lights are your main pressure tool. As kick to grab can be dodged, attacked, rolled from, and it's just pretty much not useful. You can mix up anything you like. You can go from offensive lights, you can mix up into offensive heavies. It's really nice. You also have emote, where you can chain emote to make it harder to react to. Now we have the tech with defensive lights. You can pretty much switch up. You can go into emote. You can pretty much do whatever you want. Now we have offensive light guard switch bug. This bug is extremely broken, and I'm going to go over how to do it. This bug alone can carry Highlander at high level duels, but in the current state of the game, he still struggles with it regardless. This bug is very broken. So I have my guard to my right, and all you have to do is switch to left, and in the same process, you emo like I'm doing. So I'm going from right guard to left guard. I push emo, and then I'm going back to right guard. This is what it looks like done slowly to help you guys process it. And then this is without the offensive light. So if you push offensive light, it should look like go down to right guard, left guard, you push emote, and then offensive light. You will not see the emote if you do the offensive light. It hides it. As you can see, you can also mix with this bug. You can also mix at pretty much any desired mix up you want. As you can see, you can go into offensive heavy. You can go into a kick, to mix it up. Pretty much any trait you desire, which is really nice. You can pretty much keep the mix-up game going as long as you want, but do keep in mind all of this stuff is reactable and it is rendered useless where I play at. You also, from neutral, can enter offensive stance just by holding heavy, and you can also bait and you can reset your recovery. So by default, Highlander got nerfed years ago, making it where it takes him longer to cancel offensive form to get into defensive form to parry lights and stuff. However, you can remove this by going into offensive form, quickly switching guards, and just feigning. This removes that 300 ms delay, as you can see here, when I can just feint out of it very fast and parry the light attack, and get a guaranteed 30 damage. It's very nice, it's very easy, and it's a very good bait. I wouldn't recommend you do this consistently, as it always doesn't work, because there is a bug, however, where if you get out of offensive form, you would just absolutely eat lights, eat heavies, eat bashes, like literally eat everything, and it is most of the time not your fault. There is a bug preventing this, and I've lost games because of this. So it's okay. Highlander is a buggy hero, and that is to be expected. So light parry punish, you can do two things. You can do light parry punish, go in defensive stance kick, which is guaranteed for stam drain, and then do a heavy, or you can just simply do the heavy as shown. It's very simple to do. Again, heavy or kick to heavy. The kick to heavy is mostly used for stam drain. It doesn't really have any other purpose. As you can see, is stamina. It's good to drain their stamina to get them out of stamina if need be, or you can kick them into the wall, as I'll show you can do from there later on. Now what I'm going to show here is watch the stamina bar. Watch the stamina bar. I'll kick him out of stamina, and then I heavy him. Now he's forced to deal with my 50-50 mix-up. So it's actually a mix-up. So he has to deal with it. As you see, kick into kick. If he makes a wrong read, that kick to grab would have hit him. But do keep in mind, if they get hit with the grab in any form, even if it's from kick to grab, their entire stamina does get resetted. So they get rewarded in the process. So this is his out of stamina punish. It's light heavy. It will always be light heavy. If you throw them left, it always lands. If you throw them right, it does not. They get back up faster, and the same thing if you throw them backwards. The light kind of just whiffs, I think, in a way. I'm not really sure why it does this. Sometimes it whiffs, sometimes it doesn't. It's really weird. But regardless if it hits or not, they always can block the heavy. I found a way around this, and I'll explain it. I'm not really sure why it works, but it doesn't really make much sense, honestly. But if you throw them diagonally backwards, so like if you take your stick, or if you're on keyboard mouse, you hold S and A while throwing them, and if you're on stick, you do it diagonally, so in between backwards and the left, it will hit them. I'm not sure why it just whiffs sometimes, but I found a way for, away from this. Nevertheless, I would recommend just on them left, as it always works. Every other way kind of just doesn't work. If you throw them into a wall and they fall on the ground, you pretty much always get light heavy, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Light heavy, his is only a punish. Now, you can do offensive light into offensive heavy. However, I wouldn't recommend doing it, as it takes more stamina and you get less damage. There's not much of a reason to do it unless you just honestly want to. As you can see, I'm throwing them into the wall, and it still doesn't work. I'm not entirely sure why. I'm not really sure why they get up faster, and I can't really explain it because I don't know. But nevertheless, let's go over wall splat punishes. You get a heavy, guaranteed off of a wall splat every time. Even if you're out of stamina, you will get a heavy. Make sure you buffer the input though, or it doesn't work. It's pretty simple stuff. You can also kick, as you can see, your kick wall splats, so it lets you drain more stamina, and for snares like this, you can infinite them. So I will show you what that means. So if you light parry somebody with Highlander or kick them into a wall, you could essentially get a guaranteed grab as shown below, or you can do what's called the triangle attack, which is basically kick like this. You dodge, wave dash, kick, which is guaranteed, kick again, and you kick again, and it will always wall splat, and they cannot dodge. This is guaranteed. They cannot do anything about it unless you mess up the timing. This is primarily only used for stamina drain. It has no other purposes besides to drain and waste revenge. It's very good at that. But as you can see, it's a little weird with this wall splat mechanic because they can kind of slide. But usually if it lands, it will land most of the time because Highlander's kick really kicks you to a pretty solid distance most of the time. You also can go kick into kick. You can mess it up. I will show you what it looks like if you mess it up. Honestly, it's just you taking too long to kick. However, if you do want to do this, I must say that you have to switch your guard as shown. As I tried to kick there without switching my guard, and he did not wall splat. You have to be careful of that. If you time it right like I'm doing here, you don't have to switch your guard. But if I time it wrong, as shown there, they will not wall splat. You do have to be careful of that. It's very strict, but once you get the inputs for it, it's not that hard to do. It really depends on more of the wall than anything. There's certain walls that it just doesn't really work that great on. It's usually the more flatter walls, and like the way they're curved and stuff. But you get grab off that, as you can see, it gives them full stamina, and off of the grab, as I just did, you get a guaranteed kick as well. If you switch your guard, they cannot dodge it. This is used for ledging attempts or to chain into the wall splat for certain reasons, like to drain revenge, or to dismemberment them, or push them away from a team fight, or just something. You can be creative with it. It's very nice and it's very helpful. However, it has its limited uses. Now we're going to go over parry punishes out of stamina. Same thing as before. It's light heavy. It's very simple. Very, very, very simple. It's not that hard. You can also do offensive light into heavy as I did before, but however, pay attention to my stamina pool, and I will show you the stamina values between the two punishes. You can do also light into offensive heavy, which also takes more stamina. Okay, and that's pretty much it when it comes to most of the stuff. Now, I will admit, I wasn't really focusing on the editing. That wasn't really the goal. The goal was more or less trying to help people understand the character and what to do against him. And there is a lot of stuff I did leave out. It's more of the minor, smallish stuff. But if you guys really want me to add that, I can just make another video explaining everything I forgot more in depth and detail. I do plan on making a 4s and 2s guide for Highlander and his feats that you should take. But that's really, honestly, it when it comes to this character. You guys have to also understand that this character is very bad, regardless of like what skill ceiling you're at, and there will be times that you just can't do anything. Like I've said before, I've played this character for probably more than 4 or 5 years, I'd say. I've been the best with him in the game for 2 years, and it's not really getting much better with him. Hopefully, he gets a rework soon, and I will gladly make another Lander guide, probably way better than this one. But this is my first guide, so I kind of just threw it together. It was mostly just clips. I just kind of, cut it out, edited, and just threw it together and with the voice over it. But nevertheless, I hope I did what I was aiming for to inspire people to play this character and what he can do. Nevertheless, I hope you guys enjoyed the guide. You guys have a fantastic day.